Wow, what a set of games we have on Tuesday night. The Champions League is back once more, and it's 90 minutes to save your season, potentially, for some of these teams. Make or break time. Bayer Leverkusen 3-0 down from the first game, of course. Inter Milan, you think they're going to cruise through. I certainly do. 2-0 up against Feyenoord and hosting, which they have been so good at this season. Barcelona Benfica 1-0 to the Spanish team in the second leg, and Benfica, they've shown that they can score against Barcelona this season. 5-4 in the group stage. What a game that was. Let's hope for some more of that, please. And then Liverpool PSG. This is where I want to hear your comments, your thoughts, your predictions. What is going to happen in that game? Who's going to score? Who's going to get booked? Any predictions that you have, get them in the comments and you will automatically be entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro in the next video. And here is the winner from the previous video. Well done to you. I will be in touch after recording this one. And well done to anybody that was on this from the last video as well. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from the Premier League. Let's hope we can do something similar in this one. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Joe. This is OddAlerts.com. This is my website. I am the designer, the developer, the founder, marketer, YouTube host, evidently. And what we do is look through the games, look through the stats, and then put some predictions together on Bet365 towards the end after we've sort of, got everything in the bank. We will start by going through the games just briefly, giving you some gut thoughts, gut predictions ahead of the second legs. Barcelona, I expect to progress, but I expect them to have to work hard for it. I think there will be goals for both teams in this game. Similar story with Liverpool at Anfield. I think PSG are going to score. You can't expect Alisson to pull out 6, 7, 8, 9 world-class saves again. It just doesn't work like that. And if Liverpool give PSG the chances that they did in the first leg, PSG will score and Liverpool will have to respond. And I think Liverpool can respond, of course. You can see, incidentally, that the probability model is favouring every home team, but the odds, the implied odds, are still over evens for 3 of the 4 games. Inter Milan is the shortest odds at 1.7. And now, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, I do believe, maybe naively, and it won't be a popular opinion, but I think Bayer Leverkusen can cause some magic. I think there could be a magic night here on the cards. If Leverkusen come out, don't feel sorry for themselves, and just attack Bayern Munich from the off. And they've got to be smart, of course. You can't leave spaces and you'll get picked off if you do, and you're not wise about it. But I thought they were quite unlucky in that first leg. The last 2 goals that they conceded were errors and just unfortunate incidents, really. So if they can go out there, get an early goal, and then continue to apply pressure on Bayern Munich, I can see them making it very uncomfortable for Bayern Munich, but of course you've got to stop them. That is a very, very difficult task. Inter will go through, no doubt about that. They might take a draw, 0-0, comfortable. We know that they've hardly conceded a goal in the Champions League. We will see all of that when we come to look at the data right now. So as well as the last 10 data that is going down the bottom there, we are going to take a look at the overall form for the Champions League. So we can see Barcelona winning 78% of games, and actually the game that they lost was the opening game against Monaco, which could play into this slightly because that is the team that Benfica beat in the playoffs, and they had a 3-3 game in the second leg there after a 1-0 game in the first leg. Sound familiar? The score, of course, from this game was 1-0 in the first leg. Now, they've had a few clean sheets recently away from home. They had a clean sheet away at Juventus in the final game of the group stage. And then we see that 4-5 result, which was a special game. And that result, I think, puts the psychological advantage or whatever ball in the court of Barcelona, because even if Benfica score in this game in the first half, let's say, Barcelona will take a deep breath and they'll just know that they are more than capable of getting a couple of goals quickly against this side, because they've already done it this season. And then maybe in the back of the Benfica minds, as they play away from home, that result will also creep into the front of their minds. Maybe. Let's see how this one goes. It is the early kickoff, of course, so maybe we will leave it out of our selections just in case, but let's see when we jump to Bet365 in a moment. Now, in terms of cards, I had to double and triple check this. Barcelona have not received a card at home in the Champions League. That's probably not happened before. I mean, I've not checked that far back, but that is quite remarkable, isn't it? So Benfica to get the most cards, I imagine that is... the odds are probably quite short. I've not checked the odds yet. I'm just looking through the data first. I always suggest doing that. Formulate an idea based on the data rather than jumping to Bet365 and then letting them formulate your idea. So no card in any home game for Barcelona. It shows the control that they have over these games. Will this one be the same? Another potential market, of course, when you're looking at Barcelona is the offside, 6.22 per game. Their average across the last 10, I think, is a little bit higher, but that is still bonkers, isn't it? And you can see Benfica not too far behind, but in terms of offsides for, Barcelona are not being caught offside. They are applying the trap superbly. Their high line is ridiculous at times. And you can see 5.56 for the opponent. So if your bookmaker allows it, maybe worth looking at. But of course, Barcelona, they are top of the pile across Europe. So the odds probably will reflect that. So to corners now, and when looking at the away form in the Champions League, 9 or more corners in 80% of away games for Benfica. That is total corners, and you can see as well on the ticker, it might have gone past already, but across the last 10, they are averaging 10 corners per game overall. So we can just see here as well, Barcelona, they are having a lot more than Benfica when you're looking at home form against away form. 5 corners on average per game. It's still quite low. I'd say it's bang on average, that Barcelona getting 5 corners. Maybe they'll get more in this game. We'll take a look at the odds, of course. We can see in terms of corners for, so 4.5 corners for, just 40% away from home. We can look at the last 25 data as well. Overall form, just to see how this changes. And yeah, I would say that at home, Barcelona certainly more likely to have more corners, which is, of course, another market we will look at. So for this game, I am going to go with a single because it's the early game. Never bet on the early, they say, unless it is a bet builder. So 3.6, most cards Benfica, not a single card. I mean, this could be the game that breaks that, and in some fashion as well, but I just sort of have to trust the data there. Most cards Benfica, as they really can't afford to concede early on. They will take a foul. Tactical fouls and cards, especially as we get to these second legs, I think will come into their own. I have noticed, though, and maybe you've noticed as well, cards, generally speaking, are on the downwards trend in the Champions League. I think the referees have been told to keep the cards in their pockets for sure. BTTS, yes, I think this will happen. I think we will see a game not too crazy like the last one between these two in the group stage, but maybe Benfica get a goal and then Barcelona go and score 3 or 4 goals or something. And Barcelona to have the most corners. They're not prolific at corners, but neither are Benfica, as we saw. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. For the next section, we are going to check out the football form guide, which, as I said, is powering this tool, this little toolbar down there. So we are going to take a look at the football form guide for this next section. It is also powering that toolbar down there, of course. We're taking a look at shots for here because PSG 138 in the last 6 games. We're looking at the last 6 games here, all competitions. And of course, remember, get your predictions in for that game to win OddAlerts Pro. We are now going to take a look at corners for, who's having the most corners. It is Arsenal. It's their tactic, isn't it, at the minute? They can't score any other way. By Leverkusen, interestingly, with 43, and Munich not even in the top 7, 8, 9 here. So that could be a potential market to look at. Leverkusen are going to have to push, and Munich maybe, potentially, will sit back a little bit. It might not be too wise to do that, but they will certainly be playing with a bit more caution. You know, they don't want to do anything stupid, Munich. So Bayer Leverkusen to have the most corners could be a good line. I've not checked the odds, but usually anybody that's playing against Bayern Munich, the odds are heavily favoured for Munich for the corner markets. BTTS, we have Club Brugge and PSV with 6 out of 6. Both of those games ended with BTTS in the first leg, didn't it? In terms of conceding a goal, TBC, that shouldn't be there. I'll remove that. Club Brugge have conceded in every game, as have PSV. Real Madrid, 4 of the last 6 games they have conceded. Who is the best defence at the moment? It is Barcelona. and Benfica, so that could be an interesting game for sure. Now on to team with the most cards. Real Madrid in 4 of the last 6 games. We can also take a look at fouls committed in terms of total fouls committed. Inter Milan, 84 fouls, and that could be an interesting market as well. Any jeopardy makes it interesting for cards, for fouls. Inter Milan will take a foul rather than letting somebody, go through and potentially scoring. Inter Milan to get a couple of cards could be an interesting line as well, because again, Feyenoord, they've got to go for it. They've got nothing to lose. So I'm going to go with something here that I probably think most people won't want to follow, but I'm going to go with Leverkusen to score more than 1 goal in this game. Now, of course, they're 3-0 down, so it doesn't mean that they're going to qualify. The corner market, incidentally, for them to have the most corners was 1.33, so probably not worth it. You could maybe combine this with them to have over 3, 4, 5 corners if you want, but that is going to be my first selection, and it is a very good foundation, and I think they can do it. I think they can do it. What I mean by can do it is cause Munich some issues in this game. It's going to be an electric atmosphere there, by the way. They are going to be hurting, but they won't be feeling sorry for themselves. I think they're going to go out there early doors, get a goal. Munich not scoring doesn't seem likely. I think they will score and potentially go through Bayern Munich, but Leverkusen will give it everything that they've got, and I think they'll score more than once. Just jumping back to the site to take a look at Inter Milan and Feyenoord, 1.78 cards per game for Inter Milan. At home, it goes to 2 per game. If you just look at the odds here, 2.2 for them to have 1 or more card in this game. Sorry, more than 1 card in this game. And because of the jeopardy and because of the data that we looked at before, I'm quite liking it. Feyenoord away from home, they've scored in every game. They will hope to score in this one to at least give themselves a fighting chance. And they've already taken a point from Milan this season in the most recent away game. And in terms of the cards for the opponents, 6-2, 1-3 and 4. So their opponents are getting booked. The only game that finished with fewer than 2 was Man City away. Inter Milan at home, the cards for them, we can see 2, 2, 2 and 2. So hopefully this one goes the same way. I think in these kind of games, the average will go up because of the jeopardy. Let me know what you think about that one. What I'm going to do now for the first time on this video is use OddAlerts AI to get an analysis of this game. Pre-match analysis. This launched on Friday of last week, and we will see what it comes back with here. So it gives us some overview of the teams. Inter scores 1.5 goals per game, concedes 0.9 BTTS in 40% of games. Of course, their record, the defensive record this season, is obscene. It really is. Similar data for Feyenoord, to be honest, in the Champions League across the last 10 games this. So we'll scroll down to recommended bets and predictions. Inter Milan to win, justified by strong home form and higher scoring rate. BTTS makes this a value bet. The trends, the data that it has considered is a value bet, as is the draw, which, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm sure Inter Milan will absolutely take it. So for BTTS here, the odds are over evens, and for the draw, it is 5.25. with Bet365. That is the peak, and it is as high as 5.7. So as a single, of course, it is a value bet. So if you've got a value bet system on OddAlerts for draws, I'm sure this one has popped up on your value bet alerts. I can see a draw. I can see a 0-0 or a 1-1 tight game. Inter Milan are 2-0 up. They will do what they've done so well this season, which is not concede goals. They have not conceded a home goal in the Champions League. They've only scored 9, 13 overall. They've conceded just once in the Champions League this season. That is absolutely superb. And now they've got to do it just one more time against Feyenoord. Can they do it? I think they can, but they'll be made to work, which can equal cards. So over 1 card, 2.2, and that gets us to 4.84, which I am happy with as a double. So now let's take a look at some of the selections and the potential in the Liverpool game. So we've had a selection for the Barcelona game. We've got a selection here, a double for the Bayer Leverkusen and Inter Milan game. And now we're going to take a look at the Liverpool game. Might not be that much value. I've not looked at the odds yet, but let's take a look. So for the Liverpool game, we are going to first look at OddAlerts AI once more. We click Get AI Insights, and it will go away, use all the data that it is using for the AI prediction. The stage is set for a thrilling encounter. You got that right. So we can see the key insights here. PSG 3.5 goals per game at the moment. It's using the last 10 games for these key insights. It uses a lot more in the background, domestic form, Champions League form, of course. Shots, 20 shots per game, 7.9 on target, and they have had more shots than their opponents in 90% of the last 10. Liverpool averaging 2 goals per game, which would be good, would be much better against any other opponent. PSG just scoring for fun at the moment. So the probability model is showing us that this Liverpool win is a value bet, 2.31 odds for them to win this game. BTTS is negative value, incidentally 1.52 odds there. Liverpool to win is a recommended bet and prediction, given that it is a value bet backed by their strong home form and higher probability, over 4.5 goals. 4.5 odds, that must be another value bet that it is suggesting as well. And it's saying here, same game parlay, BTTS and over 5.5 corners, leveraging the high corner count for PSG, I imagine there. So that is OddAlerts AI. Of course, every analysis that you get is completely unique to you. But it will, of course, follow the data in the same way. It's using a lot of data in the back end, of course. And you can then add your prediction as well. So we can see that evens is the model's implied odds. So over evens is a value bet. And Liverpool, I think, let's just put that Liverpool to win. Come on, the Reds. Liverpool to win as high as 2.31 with Pinnacle. So let's now have a look at the odds and put together a bet builder. And for this one, we'll make it a little bit more for fun. So this is what I'm looking at for the game, over 4 corners for PSG, both teams to score, both teams to get a card, and Liverpool to get one of those cards in the second half, which I think if they're chasing the game or if they're trying to protect the game, for me, it just both of those situations results in cards, to be honest. Time wasting, for example, and tactical fouls, another example. So yeah, second half card for Liverpool, both teams to receive a card in the game, both teams to score. This is good because you don't have to predict the result. You don't have to say that PSG are going to go through or that Liverpool are going to go through. I think it will be Liverpool going through, maybe 2 or 3-1 final score. Let me know what you think in the comments. And of course, any comment automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. So with that, we go back to the site and just take one more look at the fixtures. It's going to be a great night. I cannot wait for it. I hope this video has been good. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want one tomorrow, 750 likes on this video. If you want one on Wednesday, sorry, this is going up on Monday. And I will be there, 7 AM on Wednesday with another Champions League video for that day's fixtures. Love you and leave you.